Viewers and subscribers, welcome to another episode. People, in today's video, we want to discuss ways that we could actually make South Africa a better place. Again, one that's inclusive and one that makes every South African proud to be a part of a great nation. Number one, we all have to understand that South Africa is for everybody who lives in it, who wants to be in it, who wants to contribute to it, who wants to see it flourish and prosper. If we're all on board with that one principle, then I'm sure that we can all agree that we will, together as a nation, move forward. Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we're family, right? Holler. People, South Africa is undoubtedly the most beautiful country in the world. South Africa has some of the most amazing people you'll ever find on the planet. There is no place like South Africa. Trust me when I tell you that, right? Now, I'm saying that outside of the crime, the bad things, because every country has its teething problems. So South Africa is not immune from that. Let's not forget that. Okay. So this channel sadly focuses on a lot of the negative things because I want to shed light on the negative things so that we could see our wrongs through the eyes of other people, right? And in so doing, hoping we can add value and saying, okay, let us change our nasty or bad ways. That's what this channel aims to do. So we're here to learn. We're here to educate. We're here to inform and we're here to inspire. And we are also here to be inspired and we are prepared to also listen to everybody, right? I've got my views, you've got your views, right? But at the same time, we need to find a common ground on which both views can be heard, seen, and lived, right? Having said that, let's get into the first actual thing to make South Africa great again, right? So the first thing is unity. We all, everybody, needs to be in unison. That's number one, right? What is the shared goal? So I'm thinking we need to learn from China. China has a 50-year goal, not a 5-year plan, not a 10-year plan, a 50-year plan, right? South Africa needs to have something like that, that the blueprint for any incumbent, any party that comes into power, regardless if it's a left wing, right wing, center left, left, right, that's what. As soon as you come into power, that 50-year plan got to be rolling. It has to be kept moving the country to or in that direction. People on the left and people on the right, we may disagree on ways, methods to get to a said destination. But the plan and the goal is to get to said destination, right? So this is what I'm thinking. We first have to have a shared value, a shared goal that everyone is on board and say, right, this is what we're going to do. The ways of doing it might be a stumbling block, right? But the ultimate goal is to get there. Unison is what I think. We have to be in unison to create a master plan. Obviously, things change according to politics, world activities and everything like that. But without a shadow of a doubt, we could adapt those rules to suit those changes. So, number one, we all have to be in unison. Black, white, colored, Indian, it doesn't matter. Number one. Number two, we need to be tolerant. People, I cannot stress this enough. I'll tell you now. I'll just say, like, there's no room for racism. Now I'm just simply saying it. It doesn't mean that I'm meaning it. It doesn't mean that it's not being practiced. Nah. Anyone can start with, but I'm not a racist. Of course, you're not a racist. Why would you be racist? You've never dated a black person before. You never dated a white person before. You never dated an Indian person before. You only dated in your race. Of course, you're not racist. Why would you be racist? You only date your kind. You haven't even dated out of your culture, let alone your own race. You haven't dated out of your own religion, let alone your own race. So of course you're not racist. Of course, you're not racist. You only hang out with your people that look like you and act like you. Of course, you're not racist. The only reason you tolerate other people is because you work with them, go to school with them. If that wasn't the case, damn. On the weekends, you don't hang out with people that you talk to at work. No, you don't. You hang out with your own kind, the people that look like you. Of course. You're not racist. How can you be racist? Number three, we need to get rid of democracy. Democracy does not work in Africa at all. Show me one country in Africa where democracy has worked. Show me one country. Show me one country. South Africa is probably the most liberal, most democratic, most what's the word they like to use? Country in the world. South Africa has the most what? South Africa has the most. There's a nice fancy words they always put. South Africa has the most constitution. Because they allow for anything and everything. Sure, they do. On paper. Of course, it looks nice and everything. Look at the implementations now. The implementation. None of it works. None of it works. Why? Because democracy is not an African thing. America says democracy works. Look at America now. Look at the state that America is in. A lot of people look at America from the lens of Hollywood, from the lens of the movies, from the lens of go and see democracy in America and tell me how democracy looks like. You can't compare any city in America. You can't compare any city in America to China's smart cities, bro. You can't compare the cleanliness of China to America's filth. Go and check New York subway. There's this video on YouTube where they're showing sewer leaking, yeah, gushing water, leaking sewer, rats, papers, dirt. It looks like you're in Johannesburg, the underground New York thing, right? Compare that to China's underground metros. The cleanliness, the sophistication, the advancements, the lights, the flat screens, the GOS. Guys, we need to get rid of democracy. That's number one. That should be goal number one. We need to get rid of. We do not need democracy in Africa. We really don't. Least of all South Africa. Another thing we need to do, we need to elect an individual, strong man or a woman, a no-nonsense type of leader who takes no prisoners. We need a leader that says, right, this is the way forward, and we march to that person's sound. But that person's got to have the country's best interests at heart. So we're going to take China's um, um, model of communism blended with capitalism. Then we take Ibrahim Traore's leadership skills, and we need to look for an individual who is loved by the people of South Africa, one that the people are willing to die for, one that can agitate the West, one that can bring a new change and demographic, one that can let the Eastern world, Eastern side of the world, or the global South, gravitate towards him like Ibrahim Traore. Unfortunately, with that comes with threats of assassinations, and as you can see what's happening in Burkina Faso, if you don't know, the president of Burkina Faso is under constant threat. His life is in danger for simply wanting the best for his people and his country. And the West don't want that. So we need a leader like that. Okay. We need, we need, we need, we need the idea of people wanting separate homelands, either to be fully adopted in a non-racial way, right? Or we need that idea to be totally scrapped altogether, whichever of the two applies to the ultimate vision of the country. If we have to build South Africa, to be honest, could we do it community by community? Is it possible that the government of the day can say, okay, because black people are the majority, we'll have to serve them last because they require, because they're the majority of the country, right? So they're going to require the most time and the most thing to build. So let's start with the smallest communities going up to the largest. So the white people start with them because they're the least, right? So start with the white people, build their communities up to whatever they need, make sure everything is good in the white people. Next, I think, is the colored people. Next is the colored people, build them up to whatever they needs to be built up. Next, the Indian people, which is the Indians and then the coloreds. I'm not really clued up on Indian history. I must really, yeah, I must start reading up and doing research on Indians. Always, everybody, when I talk about Indians, I have just nothing to, not, I'm just clueless, just damn clueless. Because they're all in the news. The Indians in South Africa, they're just not in the news. I don't just, yeah. Fights in Durban, don't see the Indians. Shooting in Durban, I don't see. Corruption in Durban, I don't see the Indians. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong happening there. They don't just come up on the news. When last have you heard of Indians making headline news in national news? That's what I'm saying. Where have you? I'm not saying in Durban there isn't, Indians are not doing crime or Indians. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like every time when you hear of violent crime in South Africa, Joburg comes up, Cape Flats comes up, Umlazi comes up. The Indians, they don't come up. You know, when you have racist things, it's white people. White people, if it's colored people, colored Indians. The last time I heard of Indian racism was in a song by some Maskandi singer. We were singing about Indians being racist, and you know what I'm saying? It's the last time I ever heard of something like that. Hey, I'm going off on a tangent here. So, people, we need to come up with suitable things to make South Africa work. So, democracy definitely got to go. We cannot be a democratic state. It does not work. We need a strong man. We need a strong, if we can't get a strong party, we need to change our voting and electoral system to say, we like this party's policies, but we like that man's leadership skills or that woman's leadership skills. So there should be a vote for the party we want, and then there should be a vote for a presidential candidate that we want. That's the only way South Africa can move forward. That's the whole thing of voting an entire party with a president that is not even. I mean, the party seems to be good, but the president or the leader is just like, nah, not going to fly. Just can't fly. So we need to change that. We really need to change that. Another thing that we need to do, guys, to be very, very honest with you, South Africa needs to start coming up with ways that are independent of being dependent on aid, foreign donors, foreign this, even foreign investment. I mean, foreign investment is more than welcome. Trust me, it's got to be done in a way that it's attractive to the investors and it's beneficial to the locals. We cannot have foreign investment coming in and the bulk of the money they make goes out. Then why are they here? Then why are they here? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, they're here to create jobs, but what's happening in the overall picture of the country? I mean, is there skills transfer? Is there infrastructure development? Is there anything that's helping propel the country to fly to greater heights? It's sad that South Africa has been around longer than some other countries have been around, and yet those countries have just taken off in like about 20 years, 30 years. They've just started from scratch, and bam, they now the world's leader or one of the world's leading countries in whatever. So what are we lacking that they lacking, or that they haven't? We lacking, they haven't. How? What? How does Dubai start off as just a desert? Then 20, 30 years later, look at Dubai now. It's more advanced, more built, more than. How? Singapore, same story. I think Singapore was built from, I think, 1978, somewhere there, from about 78. In the 70s, they were like poor. Like, in the 70s, Singapore was like, geez, look at Singapore now. That time, South Africa was way, way miles, streets ahead of Singapore. What did they get right? Leadership. Leadership. Okay. Another thing we need to get right, guys, we need to increase our tax base. That is the one sore point that South Africa really lacks. So South Africa does not give incentives to people who are not in the tax bracket, right? People that are not taxed, right? There's no incentive for these people to pay tax. Like, for example, if a granny, an old lady, or guy sells on the streets, that person is not taxed. And that person has no incentive to pay tax at all. So we need to find a way to incentivize these people, anybody, everybody, to pay tax. And that tax base doesn't have to be a lot of money at all. I mean, I think Rwanda has it, Burundi also has it, where they pay this tax on certain things. And the people obliged, they're willing to pay their tax because it's for the betterment of the country. So we need to have that mindset that we need to incentivize people, encourage people by introducing a certain tax that they pay for the betterment of the communities. So, for example, we set up, this is hypothetical, right? Let's just say we set up the Soweto Fund. What will the Soweto Fund be about? Okay, everybody in Soweto, business people, residents, everybody must pay tax. Workers, vendors, this, according to how much you earn. Right. Now we all know people are going to lie. Well, I don't earn that lot because I don't work for a company, so I only make $200. I only make 200 rand a month, even though I'm making 500 or 800 rand, 200 rand a day. Even though I'm making 800 rand a day. Cool. So we go with their lie, since there's no way of verifying that, right? Okay. Since you make 200 rand a day, we will tax you 50 rand, right? We tax you 50 rand. Oh, right, 50 rand a day, right? It's nothing. It's small. No, it's small. Okay, cool. You gave them less, right? Cool. How many workers are there in Soweto? And then you say it's to build the local economy, for protection, for this, for that, the services, and that, and that, and that. And you'll see how your tax base will increase. And that's what the government needs, new sources of revenue. And you could start by increasing your tax base. But you need to incentivize the people to willingly participate in their tax framework. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I don't know. But I feel that is a start. Any start is better than no start. That's how I feel. Let me know what you think about this video. Was I on the money, or did I totally miss it with this one? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Holla.